Hey YouTube, DG here. Today I'm going to do a review of The Ring from 2002, starring Naomi Watts, Martin Henderson, and Brian Cox. It's a horror film. The plot is, after Naomi Watts' niece dies, she does some investigating and she discovers that her niece and her friends, before they had died, watched this tape. As she watches it, and the tape has a bunch of scary stuff on it. Then she gets a phone call from a female voice saying 7 days that she'll. So she has to figure out what's going on with that, and then the stakes get higher when her son, who isn't on the back, gets cursed by the tape too. So her and her ex-boyfriend here have to go investigate it. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure this is going to be a top to bottom review, but there might be some spoilers in this, but yeah. And I mean, if you guys have seen the film, you know that the investigation ends up leading to this girl here, because when they find because you see the investigation leads them to this farm. I'll get into that in a little bit, but the plot, but yeah, the film is pretty interesting. It's a remake of this 1998 film called Ringu, I believe. It's an Americanized version of the film, and this film was done by Gore Verbinski, director by the guy who did Pirates of the Caribbean, Mouse Hunt, and Mouse Hunt, Rango, and the Lone Ranger. And soundtrack was it by Hans Zimmer? Let me look here. Yeah, Hans Zimmer. And yeah, I mean, because like the main character here is an alright character. I mean, her character is Naomi Watts' character. Like, I heard she was picked for this role because she was largely an unknown at the time before she got to do stuff like King Kong. And the kid in the movie it's the same kid from the no, it's not. I mean, I was going to say the same kid from the Sixth Sense, but no, it's not the same kid from the Sixth Sense. It's not Haley Joel Osment. But anyway, the kid in the film, he's pretty alright. Like, he has this thing in the movie where the girl who made the tape, I'll get to that in a sec, has this psychic link to him where she shows him stuff. Although, it gets a little confusing. Like, why does he only always like, why does he always get these cryptic answers to certain things here? Why can't the kid just say the full thing? I feel like it would make things a heck of a lot easier. Anyway, wait, but yeah, the stick with the tape is you have, and each day with the tape, after you get cursed by it, weird things start to happen. Like, for example, if you take a picture or you record yourself on video, you're smeared as a reminder that you're cursed. And let me think what else was on the tape. And there's also some other curses that it makes like a speakerphone thing come out of your mouth like that. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I kind of do. We'll get to that in a sec. And I guess the tape also riles up. I guess the curse riles up animals because there's a scene where she's ferrying off to this island to investigate tape, and when she's doing it, she tries to ride a horse, but then the horse gets riled up, kicks out of its cage, jumps off the boat, and gets shredded by the back propeller. Propeller, so I guess it riles up animals. And also there's Martin Henderson here. He's Naomi Watts's ex-boyfriend, who's also the illegitimate father to her son. And they kind of have to learn to work together to save him. Honestly, I just realized this is some pretty interesting lighting. I'm talking about a dark movie, and got some darkness here, got some lightness here. This is not intentional with the lighting, honestly. This is just my window of my college dorm. Anyway, so they find out that in a lot of the parts of the movie is this little ring shape, which they eventually learn is the rim of a well, which I'll get to. So when she gets to but yeah, it's a kind of remind. There are a lot in the film. There's a lot of circle shapes shown a lot. Another thing with this movie is that it has this tint in the film that's dark green that you see a lot in the film. I guess it's supposed to make you feel unease or something. I don't know if basically feel unease. And also Martin Hanson's kid is kind of like that guy who's like the one who's like skeptical to everything. Doesn't believe he's the skeptic one. So he's kind of like the Scully to Naomi Watts' Mulder in a way in this film. But he still does investigate, and when they get to the island, that's where Brian Cox comes in, because it turns out that because she finds out about the tape, because she does some research and let me think. How did she figure this out again? She looks more details into the tape, and she finds like a lighthouse. She looks it up and looks up the lighthouse, and she finds a picture of the lighthouse. A woman who she saw on the tape. And finds this woman used to be a horse breeder on this island, but then the woman's horses jumped off a cliff and died, and then the woman went to a mental home and eventually threw herself off a cliff. And she found out that the woman had a daughter who's the daughter and a husband, so she goes to see the husband who is figure off to. And the husband is played by Brian Cox, who isn't on the case. I've seen Brian Cox in some things. He was in X2, he was in Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, he was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Brian Cox is a pretty good actor. Pretty good. But yeah, I do admit this one has a pretty good build-up, scary things happening. If you're wondering, spoiler, yes, the cape is being cursed by the girl here. They're named Samara. You find out that she, but yeah, in the Japanese, I mean, it's, and with her, they kind of build her up like you have to, like you don't know anything until like later on in the film, and you see some stuff, even on the tape that hints to her past, such as a vision of the horses dead, and you see spots of her father, and images of her mother as well. One moment. Wait, let me think here. The acting from everyone's alright. The atmosphere is pretty slick. And I must admit, this is a pretty interesting mystery film. Like, you do get film in the pretty good. Like when Noah Watts finds Brian Cox, he basically goes insane and kills himself by electrocuting himself in the tub, which and stuff. And you find out basically what happened with the girl is that after they took her to like a nut house for a little bit, they were decided to nut house for a little bit. They take her to where the cabin would be built where the niece and her friends died, and they killed her by putting a plastic bag over her head, shoved her into a nearby well. This well here, which is shown in the tape, where she drowns for 7 days and dies. And this film, so in the film, they have to find her body in the well, which they do, and put the rest thinking it'll end the curse. But then there's a twist. There's an earlier scene in the film where Martin Henderson's character, or Norman Watts' character, looks at the TV and sees, she pauses it, of a fly on the tape still moving, and she picks up the fly, and it comes out to real life. At the end of the movie, Martin Henderson, the tape turns on. The girl pops out of the well, walks towards the TV, goes outside the TV. He stalks Martin Henderson, and then you see a close-up of her face, and then you see Martin Henderson screaming in horror, and then because his curse wasn't lifted, because it turns out to lift the curse, you have to show the tape to someone else. That's how it works. A copy of the tape. So she does it to her son, that's how it ends. I mean, I didn't know this movie until I saw Nostalgia Critic's review of the film. And I thought, I could check it out, and I checked it out, and I frankly enjoy it. Again, it's a remake of a Japanese film called Ringu, which is technically the ring in Japanese. I mean, what I think is scary than Ringu? No, Ringu's definitely more scary. Because it relies a little more atmosphere. This relies a little bit more on the stereotypical jump scares and stuff. So good, scary, it says on the back here. And, Rick Baker did the effects. But like I said, it had some pretty good setup and payoff, too. Like, there's a lot of scenes in the movie where they set up the curse, such as being the film where the niece and her friend are talking about the tape, which is the hook to get you kissed and everything. And I found out that the niece's friend is actually Edward Furlong from T2's wife. I don't know if they're still married. Maybe they are. I have no idea. But it's an interesting. But yeah, and you also have something up to it, some effects such as the TV leaking water, and you have some hints to what happens later on, like in the tape. Like you see some stuff. Like the tape is pretty scary too. Like you see random snippets, and just like the sound effects make it seem a little more seem pretty intense. Like and it gets kind of curious to see what do all these mean, and throughout the movie you get to discover what do all these mean. And I must say everyone reacted basically how most people react to these scenarios pretty decently well. And I also found out that the girl who got dumped in the well here was apparently also Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, apparently. I don't know if she was... I mean, this film had 2 sequels, Ring 2 and Rings. I don't think she returned for either. I've only seen Ring 2 after this. I haven't seen Rings, which... And... well, let's see here. What else I can say about the film? From, and it had some pretty cool effect. There's some pretty intense scenes. Like I said, there's a bit where Brian Cox kills himself in the tub. And yeah, it's a good horror film. I recommend it. So that's all I got today. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. So have a good day.